All right. I think we lost connection for a little bit, but let's wrap this up real quick. So I'm gonna go. The tests were not going that well with the other radar tower. Let's use the comms. Let's use this radar tower. So it puts it on the top, but it's a lot lighter. It uses the superstructure for most of its weight. So even though it looks taller, it doesn't add as much weight actually above the water line. So now the water is coming up, and we're going to be able to do a stability test and then take this out and quickly. We aren't going to be. I'm not going to be a good engineer right now. I'm not going to test. Well, we'll do the speed test real quick. Wow, that was pretty dramatic. All right, we'll do the speed test. I'm hitting W or the up arrow to try to get through this as quickly as possible. I'm immediately going speed 2x. Every speed test I did this morning, I was bumping around, I was fighting, I couldn't use my hands. Couldn't use my hands to talk. Very troubling. But this ship weighs so much more that the force of the wave, the weight of the wave, it just doesn't really compare to the strength of this ship, and that's why this ship is so well designed for heavy seas operations. That said, I finished the speed test in a minute 9 last time and a minute 18 the first time. I am nowhere close to finish right now. So we are losing a lot of speed and acceleration, but we are gaining a lot of stability and strength against external forces. So these are just trade offs, right? So the size of the ship, how big of a ship, or how strong a ship, like engine wise, you want really depends on what you're trying to do with it. And because we're about to go take this out into heavy seas, we needed to really emphasize having a very heavy ship that could still get through the water. But you can see now, our high speed is 16, 17 knots. We are getting 31 knots, 31.4 knots at the end of the mission, at the end of this test, the first time we ran it today. But we are running through this at 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Uh, so over twice as long as the last test, but not quite twice as long as the first test. We're going to jump into the mission now. So we are rolling to try to pick up these drones that have done work for us and now need to be returned to the ship. A launch and recovery. We are doing the recovery part of that mission. All right. So you can tell that these waves are much, much larger than the waves that we've seen in anything else in the last few weeks. But this is the heavy seas operation. This is the joy. This is what the whole idea is here. So we are uh, able to get down to pick up these three drones that just showed up in my radar. And so the way radar works is that when something is up from you, it's directly ahead. So if it's a little bit to the right, I need to keep turning until it's directly up from me. This is a 4K, 4 kilometer radar, so we still have a good amount of traveling to go. If you've seen us practice this mission before, you know that even though the real trick is slowing down. And so we do have, I'm right clicking right now to look around our ship. We do have a rescue boat that we can use, but what we are really focused on doing is getting to the first AUV, autonomous underwater vehicle, that we need to recover as quickly as possible. But then when we get there, we need to slow down or even stop right at the vehicle so that we can recover it. And that moving from going fast to going slow is really challenging because even though this ship isn't as fast as the combat practice craft, it's a lot larger. So this is like a runaway elephant or runaway train where it's going to take a long time for this thing to slow down. So the real trick to setting the high score for this mission is being able to anticipate the speed and adjust your steering and your thinking to be able to pick up these things extremely quickly. So I don't see it quite yet, but we use this highlighting feature in the video game, right, to make things a little bit easier to see. Oh, maybe that's it. There's a little yellow glimmer right there on the horizon. And I think, oh, there we go, right ahead. So it is directly ahead of us. The radar tower is kind of covering it up, but luckily These huge waves are rocking us so that it's never in we're not stationary for too long. This is definitely a place where that last boat that we made in the combat practice could not be successful. Uh, these waves are simply have too much force, and that ship would never be able to navigate successfully to complete a mission, but really even to keep its own crew safe. That would be really challenging given these seas. So each craft has its own purpose, but let us get close to this thing. I got to start. Now I'm starting to think about when should I start slowing down. And I'm going to put the engines in reverse to maximize how fast we slow down. But I want to be able to get through these waves. I think this is the last wave that I need to get through. And so I put the engines in reverse. We are getting close to the drone. I need to turn right into it. I don't want to collide with it if I can, and I need to get it alongside my ship so that we can start rescuing it. Uh, we are not rescuing it. I'm not close enough. Let's go use the rescue boat to save it. Oh, we need to go back. There we go. All right, so I think it's behind me. It's close. So I don't want to go too fast, but I do want to be quick about. Oop. Let's turn around. And this is how you'll complete the mission. You'll be able to rescue these things with either your boat or your ship. Great, we got it. So now we are able to come back to the side of the ship. I'm going to get ready to get my. Oh. And that's a perfect way to end a rough day. If you collide into your own ship too fast, it sinks. And this is what it looks like when you sink. Uh, your speed goes to non-existent, and you just see the depths of the water. You can still play a little bit. So if you hit question mark, you can see if we hit R, we can toggle. So I can. Oh, I can't even toggle back to my main ship. We have failed at our mission, but you see that what you need to do. You need to design the big ship, take it out there. You can either rescue the AUVs with the large ship or the small boat, and just do your best to set the high score. If you crash, if you sink your ship, try it again. We're running out of time, and I gotta get this video up so we can have a discussion in an hour. But take the time, keep practicing, and don't worry if you have a temporary setback. Just keep moving forward with your designs. Thanks a lot for joining us today. Look forward to talking with you soon.